Hi, this is Flo. Now, I am going to do the Pointsettia gift box, and I know the Pointsettia gift box is in the Cricut Access and it's in Ready to Make Projects, but I'm not sure where it was. Before I opened it up, the last time I opened it, I decided to put it in my favourite projects. So now I'm going to find it more easily by going to my projects. That's it, right. And it takes a little bit of time for my projects to come up. I've got a lot of them. And under here I'm going to put my favourite. So when I click on my favourite, it will come up a bit faster because I have got an awful lot of projects in them. Now, you'll find it along here. Yep, here it is. It's in Cricut Access. It tells you by the little A. I've got it favorited so it comes up a little bit sooner. And this is the gift box that I'm going to show you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push customize, and you can read the instructions. It's a really good idea to do that, because if you don't read the instructions, like I didn't completely read them and I put it together a little wrong, but basically I put the little tabs that are here further down underneath the lid. I couldn't see the point in putting them underneath the lid. However, if you do put them under the lid, you have a little bit poking out, and then you also have a bit more room in between them. Now I'm going to move these across because these are the bands that go around the middle, and I'm also going to change those a little bit this time. What we've got here is we've got a lid that's around here, and we've got the two pieces that go at the side. Now that's obviously grouped, so I'm going to ungroup that now. Now I'm going to show you these little cut marks here are the original way of showing you where to score on your project, and that was before we had scoring tools. We've developed a lot since then. Now this is the lid, and I'm going to show you that on the lid we can change the scoring little dits here to the nice scoring lines we have in Design Space. One of the most wonderful score lines we can have. It is an absolute favourite of mine in Design Space, that we can have straight score lines. We don't have to have cut score lines. Now, in order to do that, what I have done is initially this goes inside the lid under here. So I figured that, if that goes inside the lid, it should be right in the centre. So I've taken and my measurements are in metric, no, they're in imperial, sorry. This is 3.311 inches. Now that goes in the centre of this, and this is 4.698 inches. So what I have done is I have subtracted this from the 4.698, and hopefully I've still got that measurement there. So I'm going to get my calculator and put it over the side so that I can see it properly, and I'm going to take this measurement, 4.698, so there, let's get rid of that, 4.698, and I'm going to subtract this measurement, which is 3.311, subtract 3.311, I now have 1.387, and that means that I've got to allow half for the top and half for the bottom, so I'm going to divide that by 2, and I get 0.6935, so I'll probably go 0.694, and I'll try and put in 6935 and see what I get. Now, first thing I'm going to do is, with this lid, I'm going to line it up on the 1 inch mark, and to do that I'm going to go to the position, and I'm going to position the top left corner at 1 and 1. You can see one of them has already got to 1, so that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this box, and this box I'm going to change to another colour simply because I'm going to be playing with it and I don't want it to be mixed up with the one that's going inside. Now I've got this lined up now, and I want to take out these cut marks, which I will do, and that will be the last thing I do with the cut marks. And I want to position this in the right place. So I'm going to come over here, and I could just simply position it like that and think, yep, that looks pretty right to me. However, if I look at the position of it, I should be, if I look at my calculator, that should now be 1.6935. And if we look at this, it's not 1.6935. Our y-axis, which is the one that goes down this way, is neither of them are right. So we're going to come in 1.6935, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to come down 1.6935. Now it defaults to 1.4, so that's fine. I've now got that in the right place vertically. Now I should have it in the right place horizontally because I've taken it in from this side as well. So that's where I want that, but I can't do any more with that at the moment except bring it to the front so that I can have a look and make sure I'm working with the right one. So there we go, bring to the front. Now you can bring to the front in two ways. I've worked out that most things in Design Space have two ways of doing them, and the right click menu gives you a drop down menu, and you can see that's brought to the front, so that's no problem. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the score lines for this little piece here. Now we now know the size of those little score lines, so I'm going to go to shapes, I'm going to get a score line, and that will put my score line up on the board. I'll click over here, and I'm going to bring my score line over here. Now because my score lines aren't vertical, they're horizontal, I can again do that in a number of ways. I can hold my finger on shift and drag it around to where it's 90 degrees, or I can come up to rotate and just put in 90. Now I want 4 little score lines that are going to go across here, and these score lines only need to be just as long as the pieces here. Now how am I going to get them in the right place? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. First thing I'm going to do is that that's 3.11, so I'm going to go change it to 0. Hang on a minute, the memory's going, so we're going to do that. 0.6935. So the width of that is 0.6935. So 0.6935. Right. Now, do I have it in the right place? Well, let's have a look. Now, its position should be 1 point. Right, its position should be, the x-axis should be 1, and the y-axis 1.6935, and we'll hit enter. Now you see how it moved just a fraction there? That's fine, because now it should be exactly lined up with this one here. However, we're going to make sure that we've made sure that that's on the one, and that's exactly right down there. So now we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to bring this one over to this side. Now this one is a little bit more difficult because it's going to be at a position that is 5 inches or greater. Now 1.6935 is defaulted to 4, so I'm pretty right with the y-axis on that. But the x-axis, oh dear, are we going to get it dead right? Well, we've got our little bar highlighted. I can put my finger on shift and I'm going to highlight the outside of the box. Now I'm going to go to align and I'm going to align right. Whoop, it moved the box. Now I didn't want it to move the box, so our box position now is 1.024. We have to move the box position back, so we'll move the box position back, and now we will highlight this little one and then we'll highlight the box and we'll see whether we can do that again and highlight and align right. Now again the box moves, so go back, so we'll undo that. Now there's that's right. Okay, so let's highlight the box first and then highlight the little scoring one. Now you can make sure we've highlighted the right one because we'll look over here, and then we're going to go align and align right. Now this time the box didn't move. That means that what we've done is we have to do it in the right order. So let's check our little square in the middle, 694, 694, right, we've got that right. Now if we highlight the little scoring line on the top left and the top right, we can now go group. Now that makes it really easy to now put it in the right place, because we're going to go duplicate, and now we're going to bring this duplicated one down to the bottom, and again we want it to align left at 1.69, 1.694, 0.694, but I think no, let's have a look at the top one. 1.694, right. Let's look at the bottom one. We're going to go 1.694. I'm going to hit that. Now that didn't work out right. We didn't do the, we aligned it with the green box and not the white one. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take it back to where we want to align it to, and that's 1. So don't forget you can make mistakes in this, you just go back and fix them up. Now I'm doing this, I've done it before, but it doesn't mean I won't make a mistake again. So here we go. Now this is some more calculations, because now we want to calculate it from the top 1 mark, and we know our complete box is 4.698, so we'll get the, I might just bring this one in from the side if I can. No, I can't seem to do that. So 4.698, so I'm going to go 4.698. Now from that I'm now going to subtract the amount that is the side piece, which we decided was I've lost all my calculations now. Right, we're going to have a little break here. Calculator 3.311 minus 3.311. Right, now we're going to divide that in 2 to get half of it, and then we're going to add 3.311 and that makes 4004. 4005 actually. So now this line down here, we are now going to make 5005, and that one should now line up with the bottom, and I think we're probably pretty right there. Looked pretty right, but now we are right. Now, having done all that, we now have to remove this box. The green box I'm now going to change to a score line. And now I've changed that to a score line, you can see that they are all pretty well lined up. So I'm now going to attach all those score lines. And I'm going to take the top lid of the box, I'm going to take it to contour, and I'm going to contour out, oops, we better leave that one in, that's a flower. I'm going to contour out all the little cut lines, which are these little cut lines at the bottom. If you contour out something you're not supposed to, you can always put it back in again. So now I'm contoured out all the cut lines. Right, that's it. I've got all the cut lines contoured out. This little red box still goes in behind there where it's supposed to. And this one now, all I have to do now is line that up with a position of 1 and 1. And now highlight that top of the box and the scoring lines and go attach, and I now have Design Space scoring lines in the top of my box. Right, now there's another thing we need to do. You don't have to do this, but it does make it a little bit neater when you're putting it together. As you tuck the tabs under, sometimes this little tab here shows a little. Now it shouldn't if we've got our measurements exactly right, but in order for that to be just a little bit more perfect, I'm going to take a diamond and add that. I'm going to make that diamond just a little diamond, and come down here, needs to be a bit bigger diamond than that, and I don't want it too curved. What I'm going to do is I'm going to snip off the bottom piece of this. Now, I could use a square. Let's have a look at a square. No, let's get rid of the diamond. I'm going to use a square. I don't want a huge square, and I want to rotate this square probably about 10 degrees. So let's have a look. 10 degrees is fine. Now I'm going to line this square up now to the very corner of there and bring it in here. Now I want to make sure that that's absolutely right. So to do that, I'm going to have a look and see whether these look as if they're about right. If you're not sure, bring it up in size. We can always enlarge it so that we've got that just spot on. Now, if I do it that side, because I've rotated it 10 degrees, I can do that. Now, because I have this attached, I need to detach it in order for this to slice out, and I'm going to move it forward. This time I've used the drop down menu. Now if I click on that and this, I can use slice and take this bit away, take this bit away, and this bit away, and you can see I've still got a little tiny bit there, but I can take those away. Now I can, using that bit, go flip horizontally, and that will be able to line up with this piece on this side. And if we line these two pieces up, and if I go and click that one and I click this one and I just go align to the bottom and then align to the left, I know that those two pieces are going to be aligned, and I can now go slice, and hopefully that slices that off as well. And yes, that's sliced that off. So now there's an interesting thing that you can do if you're going to slice something and you want to slice them out and you want to do it at the same time. What we're going to do now is we're going to flip this one back again, and let's flip that horizontally. Now we're going to have to flip it vertically so that we can see whether it's in the right place, and we're going to have to flip it horizontally again. So as I said, you can, well, that's not going to behave itself, is it? Aha, it's on the wrong side. So let's put that one up there, bring this one over here, let's just rotate that one and it'll be in the right place. Now we have to hope that that was rotated right, because what we need to do is have that straight up and down, don't we? 186, 360, 186. That should be 180, I think. So let's make that 180 and see whether that's right. And that looks better. Now I'm going to align this to the top and the right. So I'm holding my finger on shift, and I'm going to go to the align, and I'm going to go align top and align, let's get the right button, align right, and that's hopped up to the top and the right. Now I'm going to click this one, and again the box lid, and I'm going to go align left and then align top. Now this next piece is the exciting piece. I'm going to click this little one, and I'm going to click this little one, holding my finger on the shift key. I've done that. Now I've highlighted these two pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to weld them. Now I'm going to weld them to each other, not to the top of the box. And I've done that so that you can see, if you want to cut out two or more pieces, you can only have two layers cut at a time. So you can only slice two things. So if you've got a box here and we duplicate that box and make it smaller, you can cut two layers, right? This will now highlight the slice piece. But if you have three layers, it's not going to work. So if we just duplicate that again and we say we want to cut this out and this out, if we highlight that, no, slice won't work because there's three layers in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say this one here and this one here are one layer. We're going to make that one layer because we're going to weld them together. Now if you looked up here, you will see those two pieces now are welded together. They're not actually together, but they are welded together, and that makes them one object. So therefore, when we now highlight this, because they are one object, they will slice out of the bottom object. Now that's an exciting thing. I discovered that. It was probably already discovered well before I discovered it, but I have used that a lot. So now again I'm going to highlight these little pieces here, make sure on the right hand side I've got the right ones, highlight the lid, and I'm now going to slice both those two pieces out together, and hopefully that's come out of there, and again that's come out of there, and I've now got a nice little trim bottom that's, well, at least my top has got a nice little trim bottom that's coming in here. Now I notice that I've got two little pieces there, so I'm going to take this back to contour and look at my piece to see whether I've got a little bit extra that I haven't allowed for, and I need to check on there. So if I go hide all, and I want to be able to see this, so I'm going to take it down in size and then move it over, so let's do that this way, and I'll take it down in size again, and when I select that I notice that these little pieces are not in here, so I'll put in show all contours again so we can see it all, and that's what it was, it's sitting underneath there. So right, I'm going to go undo because that was in the right place. I'm now going to click the lid of the box, and I'm going to go, I'll do the right click menu, and I think I moved that again, so I shall undo that again and undo it again because I notice that they're poking out the side. So I'm going to, what? I've got no pieces in there. Oh dear. Let's redo. Let's go contour, and that says hide all contours. Oh, we've got show all contours, right. Okay, now we're right, we've got show all contours. Now we've got these little bits, and I'm now not sure whether I'm going to be right, so I'm going to right click on that, go send to back, and now I'm going to have to line this up again with the side piece. Now the easiest way to do that, of course, is to put them together like this and align the, actually there's two things there, so we're going to align them left. So I go align left. Now I know that they're in the right place, aligning it left, and nope, there's no way I can align it right, or to the top or the bottom. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go highlight those as that, and I'm going to go to my position. I'm going to go, oh, big enough for 11, it's a bit far down. Oops. Now I've lost him again. Where have you gone to? Oh, he's hidden behind there. Okay, let's look for him. Oh, here's that one. Right. Now, note cards. Oops, I think we've actually lost him. Here he is, right there. Now, this needs to go at 1 and 1. Nope, that goes 1.695. So that goes down to the x value of 1, and this goes down to 1.695, and it slightly goes down, and this goes to 1 and 1. Now, people say that using the position is quite difficult, but if you remember, X is hugs, and that means you put your arms around someone, so it goes across, so it goes straight across, and a Y has got a tail on it, and that means that it goes down. So your Y-axis is going down the page, and your X-axis is going across the page. Now I've got this all lined up, I'm going to highlight both of them, and I'm going to attach. Now, that seems like a long-winded way about going about things. However, it does get the lid into a nice lid to go on top of it, and the little red piece goes in behind the lid, and that, because we've chosen the same size, should fold down over the top and the sides and make a nice neat little area. Now, doing these ones, again, you don't know how far these top ones are down, so when you're doing your, let's put this one over here so that we can work on the left hand. Oh, for some reason I like working on the left hand top of the screen. Now, if you've got a big enough box, you'll see these, this box is 7.1 to 8 inches wide, and we've got a little tab on the side of that. Now, if you wanted a smaller box, you could make that 12, but if we're going to keep with this, we have to cut it in 2 pieces. So that makes us a little bit bigger box. We could also make it a little bit bigger, because you could make this one or other side. You'd have to choose the long side and make that 11 inches, and that would make it a slightly bigger box than what we've got. But at the moment we're just going to do these. Now, this and this look to be the same, so we only need to do one. We'll go to our shapes and we'll get our score line. Come on, score line. Now we're going to put our score line in here, and this one we do just need to line up, and this is eyeballed. If we do this, it's amazing how wrong we can get it. Now you can see that I appear to have it in the centre there. It doesn't appear to be coming down the centre this way, so if we bring it all the way down, now you can see that it lines up with the left hand side, and if we just line it up with the left hand side of that, that is probably going to be a bit better. However, when we look at the top, we need it to come down, and we need it to be in the centre of those 2 pieces. So that score line needs to come down in that very centre, and if we have to, then it's much better to again go up in size. Let's make it all over the right, and I've got it now at 200. Now when we go to 200, you can see that that makes a big difference. We can actually line it up much better. We can take it right to the centre of there, and that lines it up. Admittedly, it's still on this piece here, so when that goes down, it actually comes down and it's down below there. I would have preferred it if this had been exactly where I had wanted it and gone to the top of there. And the other thing with this is that it's not a straight line, and if we put it in a straight line with that point there, we're on the side of this. So maybe that's what it's supposed to do. When you are putting this across, you are putting this across, and there is a little piece here. So we've got to make sure all those pieces line up. So hang on, we'll put that in the centre of that, and it doesn't line up quite here, but that's probably where we're going to put it. If we make this bigger, make the scoring line slightly longer, we'll just get rid of that, and we bring it up to the top and down to the bottom, you can see that when we do the scoring line, we line it up top and we line it up bottom, we've got it there. Now if it goes over, it doesn't matter too much unless you're in the wrong place, and then we're going to get another scoring line. I'll take this one and I'm going to duplicate it, mainly because it's vertical. Now this scoring line is going to go not there but on here, so that cuts to there and that piece goes to the scoring line that is going to go here. So we're going to line that up there. So with that coming to here, we now know that this scoring line probably needs to be exactly where they said it should be, and that's lined up to the left of this. And when we line it up to the left, we can now see that that scoring line comes directly up from the bottom. So those are little things that you need to be aware of when doing your scoring lines and making sure that they're in the right place. Now just because that's jumped up doesn't mean to say it won't score to the bottom. Now we need another scoring line, or we need another 2 scoring lines. So we're going to, well, we need 3 actually, don't we? So we're going to take this down a bit so that we can see our project a bit easier. And if we come up here, here's our scoring line. And again, if I put my finger on shift, I can rotate it sideways and it rotates nicely. It's easier to pull it out from the left, so I'm going to, oh no it's not, it's easier to pull it out from the right, otherwise we're going to turn it off, aren't we? Right, there we go. Now this says 6.278, that would be approximately right because we've got a little tab in here. Now this little one here I'm going to use because I know that that's there. This one is also going to need to come across here and line up there, and if we duplicate that we can put it down here. Now we again have to make sure that these score lines are in exactly the right place. So again I'm going to take it up to, well I'm going to take it up to 300 because I won't be able to see it. Now when you come up here you can see the score lines. I thought they were pretty good. This one's actually not too bad, but there's the line up that we need to line up with there, and that goes there, and that's, unless I can get that to move half a squidgen, and it goes back up. And now I could take that 0.3 out, and that has actually taken it up just a fraction, and it's not exactly, I'll go 8.9 and that's too far, so I'll go 8.98, and that looks as if it's pretty right there. Now this one I'm going to look at, and again the line is just a fraction out. I'm going to move it up and see if I can get that spot on. And when I let it go it seems to drop a little bit. There we go. I think that we're probably pretty right with that one. And with the bottom one, I'm going to line it up with this line again, and oh, it jumped up. There we go. And I've now lined it up the bottom. It might seem to be a little bit picky what I've been doing, except that when you've got a school line and it folds so beautifully like the school lines on Design Space, you really need those school lines spot on. If those school lines aren't exact, then your scores will be in the wrong place, and it will make it much more difficult to get your finished item really professional looking. So now I'm making sure that I've got all the school lines highlighted, and I've gone over to my right hand panel. I've got the 3 down here and the 2 across here, and I'm now going to attach all those school lines to each other, and then I'm going to duplicate them. And now I've duplicated them, I can put them on the second score line as well, the second part of the box as well. And then all I have to do then is line them up where they're supposed to be. Let's take that down to 4-3. That's about right, I think. Right, now, although I've got the score lines in there, what I haven't got is I haven't taken out the pieces that are cut. So again, I'm going to go to contour, and I'm going to contour out the cut lines. Those two, and then when I put it back, all I've got is the outside lines there on this one. Then we'll take this one, and I can just see this line behind there. So again, I'm going to go contour on this one, and again I'm going to take out the cut lines. Now, in previous versions, we were never able to take out the cut lines, so it's wonderful that we can hide the contour like that and make those go in the right place and take out our cut lines. But you don't really want to do the wrong thing and do all that. Now, when I'm highlighting, I can just pick the two ones that I'm highlighting and go attach. I don't have to go across the whole thing. I can, as you see, just highlight, make sure the two of them are there, and that will do that. Now that's now put these in there. Now these I'm going to ungroup, and they're individual, and these will actually go to the top and bottom, and then they have one that goes through the center. Now you can do this and make this quite pretty like that. This one will show just a fraction, because you can see it just comes a fraction down under the lid. You can place these wherever you'd like, or one of the things that you can do is, and we'll duplicate this so that we don't muck up our pieces. Now, if I'm going to do this, I need to know where the lid's going to come, so I'm going to bring the lid down here and say, okay, that's where the lid is. and from the rest of the box I'm going to choose about halfway. And what I want to do here is I want to make this band a little bit wider, and then I can put it in there. And I'm going to go into my images, and I'm going to see whether there is another image. Actually, I want a poinsettia image. Poinsettia, and I'm going to have a look and see if there's a poinsettia one that I like. Oh dear, it didn't find any images for poinsettia. Okay, let's go back, because I know where there's a poinsettia image, right here. Now, that's interesting, because I have that image there, and I want to put that image in this little thing here. And it's going to be difficult because I've already done that, so I'm going to duplicate it. If you're going to play around with something, duplicate it. Then you know you've got your original. Right. Of course, I'm going to have to now detach the score lines, but I don't need those score lines, so I'm going to get rid of those. I want this little image here, and I want it smaller. So I'm going to make it smaller, and I'm going to see if I can cut that image out of the background. Now, first of all, we need one of these. So come down here, and I need to, I'm probably going to go about here, so that I've got it on either side, and I want this to slice out of there. Now, yep, it's all white behind, so it might need to be a little bit smaller. Aha. Okay, I am a bit I want that to go in here, in the centre, and I want another one of those to go in there, in the centre. So I need to highlight that one, and highlight that one there, and I'm going to highlight that one. I'm just going to group them for a minute and bring this up here, and then go back and highlight. Take that one and that one, and again I'm going to put them together, and then I'm going to that's not going to work. Okay. What I'll do, I'll duplicate that, because that's the right size box. Change its colour. Oh no, I did not put there. Right, okay. That's if I choose that and go slice, I should have sliced out images. These ones. Now I'm going to contour away that one and that one. To see you can't move that there, and that's a slightly bigger one. Now I've taken those out of there. Now I'm not sure about this. Let's come down here, and I need that. So if I put that there. What I'll do is I will align center vertically and align center horizontally. And now I'm going to slice. Remember, I've welded those two little things together, so they will be there. Now we need to put it over something to see what we do. Now, what we have now is when we put this over the box, we're going to have a pretty little poinsettia in the middle. Those are very fine lines, so at the moment I'm not certain that they will cut, but you can go into borders, and if you go into images and then go, instead of going poinsettias, go borders, I'm pretty sure you'll find that there's lots of pretty little borders. You could put a scalloped edge on them, or even make a scalloped border around the middle. You can do this with a curly border, and you can slice some of these borders out. You could make a wave border here. There are a lot of lovely borders that you can put in instead of just your plain one. Something like this makes it really pretty because you don't need the yellow in the background. You've already got your background colour there. So those are just other suggestions for doing that. And I've done this one. I'm going to now try and play with it and see whether that comes up and whether it works as well as what I'm hoping it will. I'm not quite sure why I've got this little piece here. I'll probably find I sliced it out to find I need it, but then I've often done that. Now I'll keep those little things, and of course, as I tell everybody, you got to save your project. If you don't save, you will probably find that you've done a lot of work and then you've got nothing for it. And I always remember a little story where God gave Jesus and Satan a project, and he gave them a computer each, and he said, I want you to show me how much you can do in 24 hours. So they duly managed to go and do everything they could possibly do on a computer. And God had given them 24 hours to do this, and so they worked furiously, and then at 30 seconds to go, the power went off, and Satan jumped up and down and jumped up and down. Finally the power came on with just 5 seconds to go, and Satan jumped up and down and said, I've lost all my work, I've lost all my work. And Jesus comes in and says, I haven't. Jesus saves. So there we are, and that's what you can do with things. As you see, I made this a little bit bigger to do those cuts. I'm not sure whether those cuts would work, but they definitely work on vinyl, so that's another option you have other than paper to put those in. And hopefully this will give you some idea of what that does when you put it together. And I hope you've enjoyed this.